Hi everyone, this is Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and this is our weekly Facebook Live with our Facebook group, Psychic Protection Sanctuary. And I'm actually recording this in a different place today because my treatment room is actually it's actually got stuff all over it today. So we're experimenting with a different spot. And I hope the lighting is okay. I spent the weekend at KC Spirit Fair and it was so much fun, but I was really tired afterwards. And so all my supplies are piled up in there, and I'm gonna unpack that tonight. And I didn't worry about the fact, I didn't try to rush. Was practicing good self-care today, so you'll have to excuse any lighting issues. It looks like the camera is kind of struggling a little bit with this spot maybe, but we're just going to keep on trucking. As you guys know, I don't ever try to be a perfectionist about these videos. I know some people in business, because I along with my psychic protection training and spiritual training, I take business training as well, so that I know how to make all of this stuff work. And a lot of people on there in the business training classes are like, everything needs to be really polished and slick, and I totally respect that. My approach with you guys is I want you to know I'm a real person. Actually, I'm wearing a t-shirt today that says, and I know you guys can't see it, but it says, "Love my naps," because I slept in today. As you know, I'm self-employed, so this is my work. I end up working a lot of times when standard people are off work. So that means that a day like today, I intentionally didn't schedule any clients or anything because I knew I'd be coming off a really full weekend doing KC Spirit Fair. So today was literally, I slept in really late, and then a couple hours into the afternoon, I was like, man, I am still tired. So I took a nap. And I did laundry, and my dishes had piled up. Because I was so busy doing, being a part of the event. I would come home and just like eat something and then crash. So I'm a real person. I get dirty dishes. I have to do my laundry, all that stuff. So I just want you to know that everything that I teach all of you is from the heart. I am a real person. So, now I see we have some people joining. So Zahira has already said hello. Hi Zahira, she's joining us from Renton, Washington. Everybody else, go ahead and type in the comments and tell us where you're joining from. And while I'm waiting for you guys to jump in and introduce yourselves, I'm going to let you know what we are focusing on today. I have a topic, and actually, there's one thing that I forgot to do. So while we're waiting, I'm just going to pull this up on my computer. If you are watching the replay somewhere, come on. Has anybody else talked to their computer? Sometimes I'll say, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Because sometimes my computer is really slow. If you're watching the replay, this is a Facebook Live on our Facebook group, which is called Psychic Protection Sanctuary. And I'm trying to access the group right now. So I want to try to find something. Okay. Before I do a little bit of random sharing and announcements, I want to read you all something. But before we do that, I want to just shout out to everybody who just made comments. So Erica, welcome from Burlingame, Kansas. Cool. I've been there before, I think. Melissa from Shortsville, New York, welcome. Now you will have an opportunity to ask questions. So you can ask questions about anything psychic protection at all. The only thing is I don't ever do personal readings. So if you want me to read your energy or something like that, if I've ever done that before, it was just, oh no, the comments are in front of my face. We don't want that. Thank you for telling me, Zahira. Oh, so you guys can't see me? Grr. Okay. We're going to do this, but then I'm going to have to go. I thought that was just how I was seeing it. We're going to have to go back and forth, and I'll have to look at the comments as we go. So, oh well. And I think it's because I have my camera set up vertically. So, okay. So I will check back in a minute for more comments. Thank you for letting me know, Zahira. All right, so, and we might be keeping this one a little bit shorter today since, just because. So I wanted to read you all a comment that I got on my Facebook, on our Facebook group. And it's about my book, Darkness Disguised as Light, The Hidden Truth about Psychic Protection and the Illusion Matrix. And I put this book out just a couple of months ago. And it's based on some things that actually happened to me, as well as the download of information I've received as a result of that situation. And if you've ever created something from nothing, or you've performed, or any kind of creation, you've painted a painting, created music, and you're like, I think this is good, but you're so close to it that you don't really know. So you're not really a good judge of your own work, and oftentimes we are our own worst critics. So when I put the book out in the world, my feeling was like, I don't think it sucks. I mean, I put so much work into it. I think it is good, but I don't really know. So I hope that it helps people. And it's important to me to get this information out there in the world. So there have been so many amazing reviews for this book, and I want to just read you this one that I just read right before I was getting ready to go live. And I won't read the person's name. I'll just go ahead and read the review. I purchased your book last night and read almost all of it in one sitting. And today I just finished the last chapter. I had a hard time putting it down last night. I love your book! Exclamation mark. So many aha moments for me. I'll be reading it again and using the awesome techniques from the end of each chapter. I really think everyone should read this. It's that important, and that is in all caps. Thank you for your wonderful contribution to humanity. And that just, I just wanted to read that to you guys. You guys can see my face is getting red because I cry really easily because I'm just weird like that. It really touches me because I didn't write this book to get famous. And I'm not famous, but I'm just explaining that because some people think they're going to write a book and get on a bestseller list and they'll be famous. But I went into this, in a very grounded way. I don't expect to be on any bestseller list. It's very, there's so many authors, and it's very unlikely. And so I just was very realistic about this. And honestly, my goal is I really want to reach whoever is supposed to be reached and to have it really resonate for them. And then whoever it's not for, then have them not read it, because it's not for them. So that's my goal, not to be a on whatever bestseller list or whatever, because that means it's about me and like ego. And that's not what this book is at all. I don't really give a flip about, I truly do not care about any bestseller list. I just want whoever is supposed to read it, they are drawn to read it, and they find the book, or they buy it, or, you know, they get it in their hands somehow, and they read it, and it really speaks to them. So, and I know the camera is having some issues right now. Sorry about that, guys. So it makes me so happy when I see people's comments when they've had that experience. So let's jump right in. Let me just check some comments here. Okay. Looks like everything's fine. Oh, okay. Sherry is saying people can swipe right to get rid of comments so they can see you. Thank you. Tech issues. I'm still learning as we go as well. So there we go. Thank you, Melissa. Okay. Yay. Awesome. Yeah. I may be an expert in psychic protection, but I am not an expert in tech. So just be patient with me. And like I was talking about at the beginning with, you know, not being a perfectionist about the videos, not needing them to be like super slick. I could have been like OCD perfectionist about this video and like stopped the Facebook Live and then restarted in a new location. But then I would have lost some of you, and I know you're all here to learn. So let's just keep on going. And if you're watching the replay and the camera focusing is annoying, just listen because, you know, you're going to get everything you need from listening. So there we go. All right. So as I mentioned, you can type in any questions that you have, and I will be happy to answer them. And I'm going to go into our lesson right now. If you are new to me and this channel, wherever you're watching this, just know that you can get more information on my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. And there's a lot of freebies on there. There's some freebies that you can get by entering in your email address, and also some free videos, free video freebies as well. So today, it's so funny. I don't often know the topic that we're going to talk about, and I'm spiritually guided either a few days before or even like maybe a few hours before we meet. And so actually the few hours was what happened. This morning I got out of bed. Like I said, I slept in. I got out of bed and I was getting ready to get in the shower, and I noticed that this necklace that I wear all the time, that it was like, it was actually kind of tangled up. And hey, Jeannie, nice to see you. And it actually, I kind of tried to untangle it and it broke. And I was like, ooh, okay. And I'm going to explain what I think that meant in just a minute. But before I get into that, let's just talk basics of protective jewelry, namely amulets. So I want to be really, really clear that like amulets, like, you know, protective necklaces. Okay. So I want to be really, really clear that my free videos, you may have noticed, I don't ever get super advanced with these live videos. This is all about giving you a lot of basics, a lot of introductory information to get you started, and actually a huge scope, like a broad range of introductory information to get you started. But the truth is that if you want to go deeper, you do need to sign up for one of my programs. Like if you really need all of the techniques and you know, all of the know-how and to go deeper, that's how I do it. I love putting out tons of free content, and I'm going to keep doing that. But if you want more, then you've got to go on my website and look at some of the programs. Okay. So with that being said, this is not an exhaustive lesson in protective jewelry. This is just like some little tidbits. I think you'll find it really interesting though, and it will pique your interest. Jeannie is saying, perfect subject. I was just wondering what I could get for myself. Yeah, this will, if you are new to figuring this out, this is going to get you started and you'll have some direction. So good. Melissa says, my quartz crystal fell out of my necklace last week. I have to fix it. Yeah. Okay. So, now, protective jewelry, I thought about bringing some rings and earrings and stuff like that and getting a whole bunch of different gemstones. But you know, these Facebook Lives, we just want to cover, well, sometimes I go really in depth and do like a 90-minute lesson. But most of the time, we want to just have like a little chunk of something. And so that would be too many chunks of information. So this is not a lesson on what different gemstones and crystals are good for. I'm sure we'll do that some other time. Our focus, though, is on necklaces, okay? The reason why that I feel like that's the most important aspect of protective jewelry, because when you wear something around your neck, it permeates your entire aura, okay? I'm going to repeat that because it's so important. Because a lot of people will wear like a bracelet or a ring or be like, oh, I'm going to wear some like whatever gemstone earrings. They're lovely and they're going to, you know, have an effect. But they're just like, if you're wearing a bracelet, it's going to have an effect on like this part of your body. But if you wear it around your neck, it does tend to permeate through a larger part of your auric field. Okay. And there was something I thought I had that I don't have, but that's okay. So there's different kinds of amulets that you can have. And by amulet, I am using that word to describe whatever is hanging on your necklace. Okay. So let's start off with amulets that have a symbol on them. And I'm going to show you this one. I'm sure it's getting some glare. This is very powerful. Actually, you might be able to feel the energy just from looking at it. This is actually the Seal of Solomon. And you can see there's actually, in the middle, that's actually the same as the Star of David right there. But then there's another one around it and some additional symbols. So this is the Seal of Solomon. I'm going to come back and talk to you about what it means for me, but I'm going to go into some more basic symbols. But let's read Melissa's comment. Her necklace fell off. I put it into my herbal protection pouch necklace in the meantime, and funny, it happened for, there might have been a typo there because it says, and funny, it happened a few days before Rolling Hills. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds like you did something to clear it. I like necklaces because it's close to my heart. Yeah, well, your heart center is the most powerful energy that you're putting out of your whole energy field. So that's why it feels good. So let's talk about symbols. When people are having issues, psychic protection issues, especially with psychic attack, whether it's a person sending them negative energy or they're having unwanted paranormal issues, then I often will recommend that they wear a symbol that's aligned with either their current faith or the faith that they grew up with. Symbols are extremely powerful. So when I say a symbol, I mean like a crucifix, a Star of David, you know, you name it, any of the symbols that are connected with your major religions. And here's the thing, even if you are not currently practicing that religion, that you growing up with those religious practices and that connection with that symbol, when you are in times of dire need, you're going to find, I don't know if you've noticed this before, but even if you're not currently practicing a faith, If there's a family emergency or some time when you're in dire need or you're in like major stress mode, have you noticed that your language, like you'll say something that is aligned with that faith, even if you're not practicing it anymore? Like God help me or something, or like whatever. Some people who aren't practicing Christians will call on the name of Jesus, for example. I was raised Christian, and Catholic, so that's why I'm using that language, because that's what I'm. That's the language that I know. But really, truly, just fill in the blank with, whatever your faith was growing up. So if you grew up Christian, then a crucifix, a cross, is going to be extremely powerful for you. If you grew up some other faith, then that symbol will be very powerful for you. If you maybe currently have a really big aversion to one of those symbols that you grew up with, but you have a new faith and a new symbol. Let's say maybe you are pagan and you use the pentacle, then wear that, okay? So want to let you know I'm not leaving anybody out, so if there's any faith that I haven't listed, then I honor all paths, just FYI. So whatever symbol resonates with you. Here's how symbols work. So when you wear that symbol, not only are you activating the power of that one symbol that you're wearing, but all of the focus and intent and prayers and energy that people have focused on that symbol throughout history has empowered that symbol even more. So there is, and we're not going to go too deep into this, but you could like make up a symbol for protection if you wanted to. You could totally do that, and you could empower it. But the thing about symbols that have been used throughout history, that have a long history, you are tapping into all of that power that all of those people have put into that symbol. So that's why even if someone is not practicing Christian, for example, that they can still be protected with the power of that cross, because of all of that power that has been put into that symbol. It's very powerful, okay? So whatever resonates for you. And like I mentioned, if you grew up with a certain faith and you have an aversion to it now, like really an aversion, then I wouldn't recommend wearing that symbol. Find something new, okay? So this is something that I've been using. This is not connected with anything from my upbringing. I actually do wear some things connected with my upbringing, which I'll show you in a minute. This is the Seal of Solomon, and in my research I found that this helps to protect against a certain type of entity called a jinn, D-J-I-N-N. It's a particular type of false light entity that I've had some encounters with. And if you read my book, then you know that that was one of the entities that I encountered, that I didn't even know what those entities were before I had these encounters. And I've had a few more encounters since with some clients that I've worked with and some other situations. And this actually protects against that type of entity and false light entities in general. So when I know that I'm going to be in an environment where I need a lot of protection, like I'm not wearing it now when I'm just hanging around my house where I know the energy is really clean and clear. I don't wear this all the time. I save it for, when I'm working on some really difficult client cases or I'm out at an event. So let's see if I sit back, if the camera can stay in focus, hopefully. All right. So aside from symbols, there's, let's see here. Actually, there's just, I don't know if you guys can see this. I should have taken it off. This is an angel. Actually, it could also be Isis. So if there's a pendant that has a spiritual being that you feel connected with, that can be protective for you, whether it's an angel, whether it's an ascended being. Like I said, for me, this reminds me of Isis, but it also reminds me of angels, and I have a connection with both. And it also reminds me of some very powerful spiritual visions that I had when, like 18 years ago. So if it's something that you connect with, then it can be protective. Sometimes you have to experiment with different things. I actually, because of the work that I do, I'm always wearing a couple of different things. I kind of, I kind of go overboard with it. I should have taken these off, but that's okay. I've got a Mother Mary medal and a Archangel Michael medal, and I know you can't see them, but you can see I'm holding up two little metal medallion things. So I do work a lot with both Mother Mary and Archangel Michael, and so that just calls on that power for me. And then I also have this pendant that protects against EMFs. I think that we will do a different Facebook Live another time, talking about, because that's a whole other rabbit hole that we'll go into, but in case you've been wondering, that's what that is, and we'll save that for another video. Okay. And Melissa is saying, I took a defense against the dark arts class. Seal of Solomon was one of the symbols. Awesome. That's cool. I want to know, I want to hear all about the awesome sauce from that class. Okay, so here's a crystal it's very pretty, right? I want to tell you my personal opinion though. Over the weekend when I was at the fair, I encountered a couple different people who were saying, oh, I need some protection. I'm going to wear a crystal, or I'm going to hand my friend a crystal because they're having, some trouble because there's so much energy bouncing around the room, which is true. That's true of psychic fairs. But I'm going to tell you my personal opinion and my experience, and what I feel as a clairsentient is that a clear quartz crystal is an energy generator. So it's not really protective, and it's not really grounding. It's generating. So if you want to wear something that's going to help just keep your energy balanced and perhaps encourage strengthening of your energy, then this would be good. But I wouldn't really call it protective. Okay. But you could wear this to, help keep things balanced, and then something else for protection. But I wouldn't say that a clear crystal quartz is really protective. That's not really its job. That's just FYI. And then I'm going to show you this. Okay, it's actually made out of abalone shell. It's a star. The reason why I pulled this, I actually had this hanging in my rearview mirror of my car. This is an example of a piece of jewelry that has spiritual significance for me that it might not have for someone else. So think of some jewelry, a pendant that you might have, maybe someone special gave it to you, maybe your grandmother gave it to you, and or it was passed down from a certain relative, and you feel that relative is watching over you and helping protect you, and you want to wear whatever piece of jewelry you got from them. This is not something that I got from a relative, but it is, I had a very powerful spiritual encounter when I was visiting the ocean a number of years ago, and when I was done, when I was finishing my walk, I encountered someone who was like a street vendor kind of person right at the edge of the beach. And she had one of these for sale. And I was like, I was willing to pay her like anything for this because it symbolized the very intense spiritual encounter that I had just experienced. So this piece of jewelry, this pendant, has always been very special to me. And because of that, because there's so much personal power in this, I would feel that this would be protective for me. So giving that example for you as you discern what's in your jewelry box and what might feel protective for you. And Melissa is saying, may sound strange, but I have my mother's ashes in a hummingbird necklace. Well, there you go. That doesn't sound strange. So if that feels protective for you, then go ahead and wear it. And lastly, I'm going to show you, this is a leather pouch necklace. There was an artisan that was making these, and I was wearing it a lot, so it's really beat up. The nice thing about these is that you can put anything inside of it that's protective for you. You can put, I haven't worn this in such a long time, but I wore it all the time. Okay, yeah, just as I suspected. There's a piece of paper with a prayer of protection that I wrote for myself. And there are some gemstones and some other things in here. And there's also some sea salt, which I personally find to be very protective because it's difficult for spirits to, well, when spirits pass over salt, they tend to lose power. And so that's why sea salt is important. But you could put anything, herbs, protective herbs, that's a whole other class right there, but protective herbs, you could put some sage in there, put, something like some felt and put some essential oils on it, whatever. And you can actually, if you don't have a, like we actually live within 30 minutes of a Native American college here where I'm living, but if you don't have anything like that, you can also just go on Amazon and type in leather pouch, and this is one of the types of things that will come up for you, and then you can put whatever you want inside of it. Okay, any questions, thoughts, ideas? So again, I purposely didn't get into gemstones, but if you're dying for a gemstone, some gemstones, if you want to get a necklace that's gemstones, because that's a whole other category, because you've got symbols, like a symbol that you could wear, a pendant that has personal importance for you, or you could wear something like this with protective objects inside of it, or you could wear a gemstone. And most people know, but I'll go ahead and tell you, that the darker stones tend to be protective and also grounding. So any of the protective stones that you might find, any of the darker stones that you might find, like black tourmaline, shungite, shungite, is extremely protective. And my brain is going blank. There's jet. I know there's a whole bunch of black ones. I can't think of them right now. Hey Phyllis, nice to see you. So what are some black ones that you like to use? So let's see. Hematite, right? I just have to think of what they are. What else do we got? So before we close out, I want you to type in, what is your favorite pendant for protection? And or what is your favorite gemstone for protection? And or if you haven't been wearing anything for protection, what do you plan to wear? So go ahead and type that in now. And while I'm waiting for comments to come through, I'm just going to make a couple of announcements, okay? So go ahead and tell me, what do you like to wear for protection? And go ahead and describe it for us. And or what kind of gemstone do you like to wear for protection? Kyanite. Yeah, Melissa. Cool. Yes, indeed. Onyx. That's the one I wasn't thinking of. I was like, there's another one. It's on the tip of my brain. All right, let's see what other comments come through. Snowflake stone. Okay, cool. Awesome. And, talking about gemstones, I really like the combination of, and somebody was showing me some jewelry that they make that had shungite and rose quartz. And it balances this like protection and love and raising your energy. And I think that's a great combination. So, let's see. Judy is saying, my favorite are the angel earrings from my mother. I say it makes me, quote, be nice in the face of people's crazy energy at events. Yeah, awesome. Erica says, my Irish cross. Oh, yeah. Phyllis is saying, never heard of snowflake stone. I'm wondering, are you talking about snowflake obsidian? Zahira, are you talking about snowflake obsidian? Because I have heard of that. And Melissa is saying obsidian. Maybe that's the answer. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we might have a few more comments coming in. If we do, I will catch those in just a second. If you want more information about what I do, then please visit my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. And I have lots of freebies on there. I like having lots of free stuff for people because this stuff is really important. Psychic protection is super important. Everybody needs to know about it. Those who are spiritual seekers and those who are not, everybody needs to know about it. So that's why I like to have a lot of free content out there. But remember, if you want to go deeper, you want to get into some more advanced stuff, then that would be in my programs. And you'll find that information on my website as well. But do be sure to put your email address in the newsletter sign up box and click submit, because you will automatically receive an email with some free gifts. And they are pretty good, juicy free gifts. So I hope you will do that. And let's see, we've got a few more comments here. Jennifer, Jet, it helps me ground physically and emotionally. Yeah. Phyllis, I have black obsidian with rose quartz. Oh yeah, that I like that combination too. That feels really good. Zahira says, I don't know much about gemstones. A friend gave it to me. Yeah, it might be snowflake obsidian. And you could even look up, do a Google search, or look on Google Images and type in snowflake obsidian and see if the picture looks the same as what you have, and that will answer your question for you. Phyllis is saying the two stones together in a little cage. Oh, okay. So a little cage being, it's like a little metal, like metal wires that hold in some gemstones. I don't have any of those. I wish I did, so I could show everybody what that is. But if you have some loose gemstones, it's a great way to put those gemstones inside of this little cage, and then you wear it as a necklace. Jeannie is saying, I need to figure out something for me. Yes, you do, my dear, and I know you'll find something. Something that feels lovely. Awesome. Well, so just a reminder, I think we are pretty much done. We're going to wind it up here in a second. Oh my gosh. We always, I just looked at the clock, about 45 minutes. That seems to be how long we usually go, even if I say it's going to be short, because we just get going and we're having such a great time. So just remember, every Monday at 6 p.m. And next Monday is Labor Day. Even though it's a holiday, I think I might still go ahead and do our Facebook Live, but I will go ahead and post, I'll post on our group what we're doing and if we are doing it. I'm pretty sure we are, but if I decide not to, You'll find out. Just look at the group. I will have posted something. It's possible I might go out and do something. Hey, what do you guys think of this idea? We might do it on Labor Day or maybe another time. But I was thinking, I was at the thrift store about a week ago and I was walking around and I thought I should do a Facebook Live in this thrift store because I'm walking around and I'm like, ooh, that doll is haunted. And like, let's look at these different things. And it would be fun to like go through the thrift store with the camera live and just be like, okay, what do you guys think about this object? Because if you're like me, I like to go thrift store shopping, but you really have to be careful what you bring home from the thrift store. So that might be a future Facebook Live. Doesn't that sound fun? Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be open on Labor Day or not, but I'm sure we will do that particular one at some point in time. I think that'll be really, really fun. So thank you guys for joining me this evening, and I will see you next week. As always, you can submit questions ahead of time, and sometimes I will just briefly answer the question directly for you, or if the question really speaks to me, then I might make that like the whole topic of the Facebook Live. So that's the benefit of submitting your questions ahead of time. You can like post your question on this thread, or you can send it to me ahead of time, however you want to do it on Facebook. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Melissa says, I manage an antique mall. Where do you manage the antique mall, Melissa? Just asking, because since you manage it, maybe you wouldn't mind me coming in and doing a video. I don't remember where you live. What part of town? Zahira says, always love your classes, Maya. Thank you. You're welcome, and I love you guys too. Well, Melissa, you and I can chat later. I was just thinking, you know, when I go into a thrift store, like, they're probably not going to like me talking about their stuff being haunted, so I would have to be like in stealth mode and doing it on the down low, you know. But I'm sure we will figure it out. Well, you guys, have an awesome Monday. I will see you next time. As always, sending you all my love.